Helloing, people of the internet world. Welcome to Give It the Beans. I am your host, Sarah, and this is a 2023 Infiniti QX60 autograph all-wheel drive. It is the most luxurious spec'd version of Godzilla's crossover, and today I'm gonna get it up in the air. We're gonna nerd out in the tech specs, see how it's constructed, and then take it out and give it the beans. Don't feed lizards beans. I don't think they eat beans. I don't actually know. Do lizards eat beans? Can lizards fart? That's a real question. I'm gonna shut up now. I do like these headlights though. They're aggressive looking. Okay, let's see how much this shares with a Pathfinder. That's interesting. Gunmetal shapes right there. Oh, the gunmetal ties into the cues on the wheels. Like that. If you notice, it has a tow hitch because this thing will actually tow 6,000 pounds. Oh man, it's got a steely space saver donut for a spare. No matching wheel. I respect that. Stainless steel downturn exhaust tip instead of some fake piece of chrome plastic pretending to be an exhaust tip. Not much for anti-corrosion measures under here. It's just exposed seam sealer. I don't see any chassis wax or rubber undercoating. Rear suspension, the QX60 has a multi-link setup with mostly stamped steel components, with the exception of the upper link, which is almost wishbone shaped. That's aluminum, as well as the knuckle, paired with a set of rather simple twin tube struts. The lower link has a little plastic stone guard though to keep it from chipping and rusting. The QX60 all-wheel drive has a brake-actuated limited slip differential capable of transferring 50% of the torque to the rear wheels. Aha! It is a Borg Warner unit. That's good. And on top of that, Nissan paired with Danish Spicer for the drive shaft. Good components. In case you're a little bit confused, because I just said Nissan instead of Infiniti, they're sisters. They're sisters from different misters. This is essentially a luxury Pathfinder. Just below it is a rather beefy rear anti-sway bar. I'm curious, how big are you? Oh wow, he's girthy, 29 millimeter. Has rather large and pancake-like rear subframe bushings. It's got a fairly massive additional chassis brace that goes from the unibody up to the front of the subframe. Should keep this thing nice and rigid. As I already mentioned, this second generation QX60, codenamed L51 internally, shares the same chassis as the R53 generation of the Nissan Pathfinder. And this autograph all-wheel drive model weighs in at 4,655 pounds. This does have a ton of, wow, that's actually thicker than I thought it was. It has a ton of underbody plastic, but whatever, a spec. Just look at this tubular brace underneath all that plastic. It's got like a bash rail to protect it off-road. That's tall. You could put like snacks or something inside there. Now, this side doesn't have one. No way. How did I not notice that? Never did I think I would see this factory on a car. It's got underglow. They really don't want you to hear that engine, do they? Look at the size of these mufflers. That's a big flange. Holy shit, look how big diameter that is. What are you? 69 millimeter, 2 3/4 inch piping for you SAE folk. Ew, look at the booger. What is that? They put goo on the exhaust hanger rubber. Oh, that's flick booger. There's only one transmission available with the second gen QX60. Up above my head, it is the ZF 9HP48. Nissan Infiniti partnered up with ZF, the German transmission manufacturer. However, this is still manufactured in-house by Jatco. The design is just licensed from ZF. And the 48 model is one of 3 ranges in this ZF 9HP. There's the 28, 48, and 50. Each one designates the maximum torque input rating, this 48 being 480 Newton meters, which is about 354 pound-feet of torque. Front anti-sway bar measures in at, Sarah, why do you like measuring so much stuff in your cars? Why do penguins not wipe their ass with popsicles? What's wrong with me? 29 millimeter. Yeah, McPherson strut style front suspension with an aluminum knuckle and lower control arm. Again, just a twin tube damper, nothing fancy. That looks like an engineering headache to have to design this manifold since it's a transversely mounted V6. I mean, what else could you do, I guess? No real skid protection up front, just a bunch of hairy wool-like cardboard panels. Time for the braking test. Nobody behind me. Ready, mash. Wow! I was not expecting that. Pretty damn good braking for this thing. How? Weird. Totally blew my mind. I didn't think it was gonna be this good. That's short stopping distance too. A lot of pedal feedback. That braking was just made possible thanks to a set of 2-piston floating front calipers and a 350 millimeter or 13.8-inch front rotor. The wheels, these are actually Enkis. Comes from the factory with a set of Enkis on them. They're 20x8 with a positive 50 millimeter offset, and they're wrapped in a set of 255 50 20-inch Hankook Dynapro HP2 tires. That's pretty. Just notice the side of the door says Infiniti. Out back, things get a little bit smaller with a 330 millimeter or 13-inch rear rotor with just a little single piston floating caliper back here. And the wheel and tire is square stance to the front, same size. I can't help but wonder what these Enkis would look like if the face wasn't machined and they were all that gunmetal color. I think they would look really good. In the name of science, I will now give this thing the beans. Bolstering check. Ooh, okay, robots are grabbing my boobs. Give this thing a bolstering assessment. Ow, that was right on the bone. Bolstering's not the greatest, but boy are they comfy. They definitely are. They're heated and ventilated as well. They call it the autograph because it comes with an autograph of autograph. Even the back seat says autograph on it. Captain's chair, captain's log. Plenty of room back here in the second row. They got heat, no ventilation back here. USB-C, USB, power inverter. That's nice. The bottom half is carpeted so you can vacuum it. This third row is a little bit tight. I got plenty of headroom. There are 2 cup holders. There's 4 cup holders back here for 2 seats. There's a speaker right here. It's like a little smartphone holder back here. A little rubber cup that a spoiled brat could take it and chuck it and hit their parent in the back of the head. As far as drive modes go, I have a dongle right here that says D mode. Suggestive. I'm going to tap on the D mode dongle and I can go from personal, sport, auto, eco, and snow. I like my D mode sporty. And then lastly, on my little robot bar soap over here, I can go from drive to manual mode and use the paddle shifters on the back. But I'm going to keep it in drive mode because the robots know the optimum shift points probably better than I do since I've only been driving this for a few days. So let's see what this thing can do. Give it a little assistance, let it eat. Ready? Go. Okay. Roar. It's not bad. Not bad. Okay, that's good. That's actually, it's smooth. It's not bad though. Oh, well, this is gonna be hard to pop the hood. Oh, hood popper. Sheesh. Pops the hood. Hey, oh, you didn't paint underneath there, Infiniti. If you're gonna spend over 60 grand on a vehicle, the underside of the hood needs to be painted body color. This is not acceptable. The whole engine bay for that matter. I don't wanna see primer underneath here. This isn't some high school kid's drift car. Underneath the hood of the 23 QX60 is none other than a VQ, still in 2023. Hey, if it's not broke, keep going with it, I guess. It's a proven engine. This one being the VQ35 Delta, which is a all aluminum 4-cam 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6 that produces 295 horsepower at 6,400 RPM, 270 pound-feet of torque at 4,800 RPM. Delta, the big change there is the VQ35 now has direct injection compared to the older DE and Rev Up and HR models. All jokes aside about this still having a VQ35 in it, that's seriously a strong point because this engine's been around for over 2 decades now, which has given them a ton of time to work out any kinks and bugs and make the best version of this possible. Digging in a little bit deeper on the DD variant of this VQ35, it is over squared at 95.5 by 81.4 millimeter bore in stroke, has an 11:1 compression ratio. It does have variable valve timing, continuous variable valve timing, but only on the intake side of things. And the direct injection system is brought to you by Neo, not the one from the Matrix though, or the tasty 3-colored ice cream. That's Neapolitan. Okay, that's cute. There's a little plastic cover to hide the radiator cap. Neat. Are you easily removable? Yes, you are. You can see underneath here, it's got a plastic intake manifold that's flopped over the rear bank of cylinders there though. So the valve covers, are those plastic? Yep, plastic valve covers on the Delta. It's a fairly good size engine bay. That rear bank of cylinders is tucked up underneath this wiper cowl. It would make it a little tricky to work on, but this is definitely not the worst I've seen for transverse V6s. The battery's staying nice and cozy, wrapped in a little blanket over here. It's got a massive airbox silencer. They're really trying to keep this engine quiet. What kind of sick fuck design did this fucking valve? Be curious to see if there's any components on this revised VQ35 that would exchange over for an older 350Z, like the direct injection system, possibly. I don't know if anyone would want that, but there you go. QX60, go. Like butter. That's the way to summarize this thing. That 9-speed, the VQ, it's smooth. It doesn't really shove you in the seat. It doesn't have a lot of being in that sense, but it's got smooth power, especially mid to upper range. Where its strong suit is though, is not just in the interior as far as luxury goes, style. It's a stylish ass interior. I could flat out match an outfit to this interior, especially the dash. There's gotta be purses that are way out of my price range that would go great with that dashboard. It has wood grain, but it's not ugly wood grain. It's black and it's open pore, whatever that means. I don't know a lot about carpentry and stuff. Memory passenger seat. The Bose sound system in here is spot on. It absolutely banging. The controls are ever so slightly angled towards the driver, so it's kind of like a driver-focused orientation, but at least you can control your own seats right here and your own climate control. It's not the biggest display, but it's what it does for you. And what it does for you is look good on your dash. They do give you a knob to adjust the volume level though, I like that. It's super quiet on the inside, there's barely any road noise, and I don't know why I'm yelling then, because I should be able to talk quietly with the inside voice. But it is, I don't know, I just get excited filming car reviews. If you had to compare this against its competitors in this price range, where it falls short would be more in the on-road performance overall, just performance of the vehicle. It's not really screaming anything wow in that area. Also, fuel economy is just kind of meh because it's naturally aspirated, and most of its competitors have forced induction or some kind of hybridization. This thing is expensive, and I know something that is going to shy people away from an Infiniti is, I'll be honest, the past 15 years or so, Nissan Infiniti didn't have the greatest track record as far as their vehicles go, but in the past couple years especially, I feel they're really turning around and they're making a conscious effort to put out quality products. In fact, they're using better components, no longer a CVT. So I do feel like there is an effort to step up quality. Wait for it. I want you to hear this. There you go. So if you forget your seatbelt, the chime is super pleasant. It's not irritating. 360-degree camera. It also has a heads-up display. Open. Some really lush, thick carpeting. What's underneath here? Wow, that's actually deep. That's still fairly decent storage, even with the third row seats up. It's basically a minivan for people that despise minivans, and I agree with you, I despise them too. You can't tell me that doesn't look like a 90s Dodge Caravan. Do these slide? Yeah. These slide. Nissan has always been one of my favorite car companies, and back in the 90s, I would put them on par with any other brand coming from Japan. So I look forward to the future of Infiniti Nissan vehicles. The Q60 Red Sport and the new Z are absolutely phenomenal. I wish they put the Red Sport drivetrain in one of these. Yeah. To keep things congruent with my primary YouTube channel, Sarah Untuned, my car review ratings are now going to a 1 to 10 scale instead of 1 to 5. I just feel it gives better differentiation between the ratings. Anyway, first up is the bean score. This QX60 autograph all-wheel drive gets a rating of. Next is the cookie score, and at almost $70,000, the autograph all-wheel drive gets a rating of. Next is the wrench score. This gets a rating of. Squid score, QX60 gets a rating of. Lastly though is the penguin score, and the QX60 autograph gets a rating of. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see you soon with another. Bye!